What's going on, everyone? Just to give you a heads up, we are waiting for a co-host to come through. Make sure you go ahead and retweet the space so that people can hear about it and they can filter on through as well. It's an exciting time, you know. You've seen all the tweets today, bro. Don't lie to me like you haven't seen that big blue R on your timeline today. I don't want to hear any of that because it's been everywhere. My screen has been blue. I'm feeling blue. No, I'm not feeling blue actually, because people say feeling blue is down. But if you know about old school MetaTrader 4, you make a trade and you start making money, it goes into profit, it turns blue. That's the blue I'm feeling today, all right? But it's an exciting time. We got stuff to talk about. I want to talk more so about the evaluations of Ron right now and what we have right now, right? So people can, like, we get that translated across, and also just kind of like picturing together, maybe pitching the questions, get a Q&A together so you guys in the audience can come on stage and ask us a few questions as well. But I am gonna ask that my friend Mr. Logic puts his hand up so I can bring him up here to the stage as a speaker as well, because we're gonna bring my boys through. It's been a while, man. It's been a while. There he is. But hello everyone that's just coming through right now. Like I said, we are gonna get started very shortly, and thank you for being here. Okay, welcome my boys. Now we have a little brief today. It's a bit more structured than last week. If you were here last week, we were able to talk a few things and piece together some of the exciting stuff that was happening that we were aware of at that time, and we've had an amazing week in Run, for the Ronin network. It's been phenomenal. Nothing else that you can really say in this scenario right now. Things seem good, and I'm quite happy with how the environment feels right now. It feels energetic, it feels bubbly again, which is always important, you know, just for contribution, man. It's really hard to get things going when there's a stale feeling in the community, and in places like Twitter, on social media, but really the proof's kind of in the pudding, man. I think the pudding, we don't know the pudding yet, but it smells damn good in the kitchen. I will say that. And without further ado, let's get into the episode, man. Thank you for coming through. I got my two speakers with me here today. Cairo is probably gonna be here a lot because that's my guy right there, and he's got a lot to say, man. And his brain, although he's a bit of a DJ, it's very good, very intricate. But we got Cairo with us today. Hello, Cairo. You want to say hello? I don't know if you want to say hello. He's antisocial.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. This man's just out here talking to himself. What's good, everybody? Welcome to Radio Ronin.
Thank you. Yeah, and we got my boy Logic pulling up today. Logic, how you doing, mate?
We doing good. Pretty excited. I mean, this is first episode, right? Of
No,
Radio
bro. Hey, you 1 week late.
No?
Yeah, episode 2, man. We in the mix.
I'm late.
Yeah, we're in the mix now. Shout out to everyone that came to episode 1. It's we're under the radar. You know, we just starting. We're getting out here, but I appreciate you for saying yes, man, and coming through.
I mean, yeah, at least we here now, so we live, we active.
Yeah. Now we're getting the damn thing done. If you are on the Twitch right now, you can see the screen, so there's visuals there as well. If you would like to go and see that, you can find that on my profile. But that's the last time I'm gonna announce that. We're gonna jump into this episode. So, man, what is the elephant in the room? Actually, I don't even want to mention it. I want to ask that. I want to pose that question. Logic, I'm gonna put you on the spot. What's the elephant in the room right now with Ronin, man? Like, how we feeling about Ronin?
I don't know. Something feels weird. Like my TL all day, today, yesterday, just the good old R sign. You know, that Ronin sign. I mean, I did it too myself. You know, I mean, like you said, something's definitely cooking. I feel it too, like energetically, the vibe feels good.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, I mean, Cloud White was even tweeting, you know, a couple things here and there, and I mean, we'll definitely see. I'm kind of seeing, you know, what Ron hit $1.
Yep. Yeah.
So does that mean Ron is now, you know, essentially Ron is now 1-to-1 to a US dollar bill?
Yeah, for sure. It's like if you were to get 1,000 Ron today, like a few weeks ago, you essentially could have got that for, you know, we're talking maybe 600-700 for a price of what today is $1,000. So it's been moving, but a dollar run is confidence is up there. We're breaking through it. It's a matter of whether it maintains, and that's part of the key factors we'll talk about today. Is like that evaluation for me is fair. Obviously, I'm going to be completely biased because I'm a fan of Ronin. I see their vision and I completely believe in what's possible. And the evaluations that originally are put out are based off of the things that they state, they are going to being produced. So I'm pretty confident in their ability to do that. But a discussion today more so on the network itself, like what actually is the Ronin network. It was originally created, from loosely touching on it, it's like the factors with gas fees on Ethereum originally with Axie, and then having the player base or the user base expanding, you needed an ease of transactions, right, and an affordability of transactions. So Sky Mavis then decided to build the Ronin network. So yes, it's a blockchain, and I don't want to go too deep into the rabbit hole of explaining technicalities of a blockchain and those types of things, but essentially it was created so that we'd have a lot more control and an affordability to transactions in this space. But it's broadened. It's much more than that now. From obviously from my point of view and from what they state, there's so much more that Ronin is going to facilitate, and it's really starting to piece together now that people are realizing how amazing it can be for a gaming studio to leverage the network and the facilitations already being there. If you're a gaming studio right now and you want to build innovative games, new games, and look for crowds that are willing to try new games itself, Web3 is a great space to start building on top of the fundamentals and the functionalities of using blockchains and NFTs and those types of things to raise capitals in some ways, shapes, or forms. Like Web3 can be extremely attractive, but all of these studios, I don't quote me on all, but the majority of these studios won't have the capabilities to build the things that have been put in place in Ronin. So that makes it hugely valuable in my eyes, and that's a large proportion of where my value is invested. I mean, is there something else that you see that I'm missing out when I'm talking about what is Ronin? Where's that value? For me, that's the main point. Cara, I know you got your hand up. You might want to touch on that.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, you know me. I've played a lot of games in this space, and have definitely tested the waters on different chains, and the experiences of each of the chains. And man, I think the ease of use of Ronin, like everybody's always compared like Sky Mavis and the products they build and Ronin to Apple, and to me that is like you better like back that up if you're gonna say something like that. And so, I mean, whenever Ronin, like all of the Katana stuff was being built, and like all the upgrades to the wallet were being done, and all that stuff, like I remember the ease of use. Like when I was onboarded, was like one of the reasons it was so sticky. It wasn't as difficult as everything else was, and I mean, obviously there were like those hoops you had to jump through. Were easier to jump through because of the opportunity at the time, and like you were more willing to do that. But I still do think that with how easy the Ronin wallet and just all of the Ronin ecosystem has been to use, has been one of the big reasons that like I got so invested in it, and that's where the value is for me. It's like whenever, like, man, I just tried this game the other day called The Forge, and it's like this FPS game, and it's on this thing called the Wax Network, and I'm not gonna lie, man, after a year and a half of like going through all these games and like having to make different wallets, keep track of all the keys for that stuff, and then like putting more money into a different chain, and then go in and buy their assets, and then worry about the bridging and stuff, like that's just so much for a new player to do. And I think that like Ronin's really working on making sure that people don't have to do that, and it's like an easy first experience. So that's where like one of the biggest value props is for me.
Yeah, 100%. I was gonna say, you're one of those people that I know in this space that actually has had hands-on and touched like a lot of products and had those user experience interactions, and myself doing that as well. there hasn't been a process to even just get access to a game that has been as smooth as anything I've experienced on Ronin. So that's a huge talking point for Ronin itself. For people transitioning over, for those that don't have experience in Web3 gaming space, if their first experience was literally some of the processes I've had to go through, no wonder they don't want to play these games. It's tedious, it's monotonous, and sometimes it is, it almost feels like it's unsafe. You're unsure, and you could be given away.
That's supposed to be the security of all of this, like the player owning the assets and feeling like they own the assets, and like going through that, like that's supposed to be priority one. And like whenever it does feel unsafe because you're going through so many different like hoops to jump through, it's just that's not the user experience we need. So it's good that it's much easier on Ronin.
No, facts. We had OG Nasty request to come up here as a speaker. I know we're touching on the topic as like, benefits for Ronin and how smooth it is right now. I don't know if you wanted to stay on that topic, but just from your perspective, OG, if you've touched any other blockchains, do you have a comparison with Ronin? Have you found anything smoother, or you feel like Ronin is as smooth as we can see from blockchains?
I'm definitely biased, but I have to say Ronin is king. And just to address one of the earlier questions you had about the elephant in the room, staking is around the corner, and it's never going to be this cheap to buy Ronin again. So take that for what it is. But then there's also a game release coming around the corner too that they've promised us, and I think a lot of the people that have been here, like Cairo, have been waiting for something else. We love Axie, but for Ronin to take over the future, or at least improve on what it's currently doing as far as player base, I think having another game in the mix is almost a must. But I'm just gonna leave it at staking is the elephant in the room. There's a lot of good things that are coming with that, and I'm excited for this ride, man.
The staking is going to be huge, and single-sided staking as well, which it was something that I was completely not factoring in a few weeks ago. I was doing a huge analysis on Ron, and that's mainly one of the reasons why Radio Ronin is born. Having that moment to really analyze what we had in the time made me think, bro, we actually have to talk about this. We do have to translate it to other people, because people generally, they might not understand these things. I know people that are in Axie, playing Axie right now, and have no idea what the Katana interfaces or anything looks like. We have users, and our daily active users right now, shout out to Axies.io. I know the Guildless Gaming community came out with some good stuff. Shout out to is it Thonk? I don't want to get that wrong. Please, someone correct me if I'm butchering it. But shout out to Thonk. They actually put Axies.io, a HTML out there where you can track different things in Axie Origins, the leaderboards right now. But it shows a daily active user count of we are just sub 50,000 daily active users in Origins right now. And I don't know, but I mean, Logic, how do you feel if you've seen any other stats anywhere else? Is that the highest daily active user base in Web3 right now?
Dude, Axies.io is the best website right now. I mean, I use it almost every day. I mean, most esports players too, we all use it and see what people are using. You see, what people are how fast they're climbing, all that stuff. Yeah, I love Axie.io. I mean, I'm definitely use it every single day, literally just looking at leaderboards and tracking people down. But yeah,
bro, look at this that's coming out of an ecosystem. Like, yes, you have one installment of value in Ronin and Sky Mavis, what they do as a blockchain product company. Like, these little, these bite-sized pieces of value are coming out of the community, bro. Like, this is a continual thing that's happening in the space, whether it be Axie specific, but eventually with more games becomes a bigger community, comes more people, comes more of these beautiful pieces of value that we're able to come out with, man. It's an interesting time. But we just had my guy, Mr. Captain Carry, request for us. Come up here, my bro, and talk your talk. What you got for us today, my friend?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. Sound good.
All right, word. I just wanted to comment real quickly on we were talking about the ease of use of Ronin, and I had an experience on my Twitch stream where I got raided by a guy named JTV who is literally making a game in Decentraland.
Okay.
And you know, it was like a whole group's like 60 people, all these people from Decentraland. I was like, oh, cool. I was like, you know what? Since you guys rated me, let me check it out. And the onboarding process took about like 40 minutes, man. It was crazy. Like, we spent a lot of time talking about how or how difficult it was just to get to the part we wanted to get to where I could check it out.
Yeah.
And I think that with the Ronin Network, man, it's just, again, to back up what Cairo said and you said, it's the ease of use is just absolutely insane. And that experience that I had trying to get through to Decentraland really opened my eyes to that,
Yeah, we're very spoiled. I think I don't venture outside of Ronin ever, really, if I'm honest. In terms of Web3 gaming right now, there really is no mass appeal anywhere else. And that's my personal perspective on things. But I think it's like that's the general consensus for me at the moment, that there really isn't much competition. So I don't actually understand how like privileged I am to be able to operate on a blockchain that is so smooth. It really is a pleasure to be able to do things on there. But one of the key components though, I wanted to talk about this because we talked about staking just then. OG Nasty came up here and mentioned staking. One of the things I wanted to talk about was we're gonna be moving and transitioning into an era where you'll delegate where those funds are going to be staked. So we know that we have validators, and there's some big names on the Ronin list and some big partnerships. I want to bring to the attention that most people don't, know. Most people will know it was big news when it did come out. I remember Axicon was announced as well, but an extension of Google is already in part with Ronin. I don't want to throw around some wild rumors, by the way, but even just having those early associations and just some of the names and capabilities of the parties in which are in our active validators is actually pretty exciting. Do we think that a future for Google in a Web3 space could be, looking nice with an involvement in Ronin, or is that an absolute reach? Like, someone can slap me in the face right now and say, "Siege, you are reaching all the way, Gila, you're going crazy." Like, but like, am I reaching? Cairo, please tell me if I'm reaching. You should be able to hear Cairo. Yo, Cairo, you hear us?
You had me muted, fool.
Yeah,
So I think that what I would say is that Google will just be if Google is going to get any more involved with Web3, it's just going to be in that kind of overseer or like all-seeing eye type role where they just throw money at whatever they want and just hope that some of it hits, and whatever if it doesn't. I don't think until they know that all this stuff's going to be a knock out of the park that they'll do their own stuff involved with it. It'll probably just be money and partnerships with the cloud services they have.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was a bit of a reach, man. But if Google ever maybe it might be that relationship. You're rubbing shoulders with big bad Google, man. When we're talking in this game of the tech industry and who's really big players, big huge factors in the industries, Google for sure is up there. So that early relationship is always nice.
I think you can be pretty safe to assume that all of these really, really big companies that are involved with tech aren't going to let themselves miss out on any of it if, the money starts coming back in. Yeah. So,
well, confirmed then. Google has run. All right. Let's move on. One of the huge things that, like I said, we don't talk about much. It obviously is an old release. It's been here for so long. Katana. I don't realize how much I find myself using Katana.
Katana's the best. No cap.
It is a beautiful thing. Honest to God, it's an amazing feature to Ronin, and it only then entices that in the future. Is this a possibility? I'll ask you, Logic. Is this a possibility? If you don't know for sure, you can throw this straight back in my face. But as we see a future of Ronin having a broader games selection, will games then be able to bring in their own forms of ecosystems, including their games' native tokens? So in the future, will we see Katana be utilized for a wider distribution of tokens on the Ronin blockchain?
I mean, I don't see why not, right? It's a DEX.
Yeah.
If another game is to come in, they have their own native token. and they want to utilize that within the Ronin network, I don't see why not. I don't think we should be forcing people or game developers to just use the Axie tokens. I don't think that's very fair, and that doesn't really make sense because at the end of the day, right, Ronin network's what we want to be used so that we can move things around and make sure that there is a network that we're not paying copium amount of gas fees on, and just having that ease of use into that thing. So 100%. I mean, I see Katana being able to swap different game tokens. I mean, obviously it'll probably have to go through some eyes of Sky Mavis, and it aligns with the purpose and it aligns with goals, things like that in mind. But for sure, I think it should happen, and I don't think we should kind of what's the word for it? Kind of like stonewall game devs from being able to bring some sort of economy into the ecosystem.
Yeah. No, for sure. I'm kind of thinking in the future of like having a drop-down menu on Katana when you want to change the currency, and that being a fully scrollable drop-down menu. But no, it's interesting.
Facts. I mean, it's a Dex. I mean, we already have that, right? For like 4, we have AXS, SLP, RON, and USDC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
lots more potentially to come. I want to touch on. Even Nasty said this. They've where is the talk of they've promised us games come from? Because I haven't heard. I know I started seeing Cloud tweeting stuff saying yo, we need something. But where is the talk of new games? Because everyone is pretty adamant that something is happening right now. I mean, OG, if you're still here, you want to come on and explain. But I don't.
No, wait. What do you mean? I know you're asking where the promise of new games in the Ronin network, where those rumors started.
Yeah.
The AxiCon, man. That started at AxiCon. We got told at AxiCon in one of the Ronin slides that there were. I think I'm remembering off the top of my head here, but I could go and find the images because somebody has them on Twitter. But I believe it was 6 gaming studios or 6 third-party games that were promised by the end of last quarter. They were supposed to be announced last quarter, and then they ended up delaying them for another quarter. In the Ronin Discord, they talked about it, but they delayed them for another quarter because they wanted it to come out at the same time as staking. And that is now supposed to be coming at the end of this quarter, which ends in 12 days. And so it's not just the new games that I think that, and don't quote me on this because I don't know this either. I'm just going off of what I think I remember seeing. But Cloud isn't just doing this ultimatum or this countdown shit on Twitter.
I love it though. I can't lie. I love it.
It's not just for games. He's doing it because he set some ultimatum or deadline with Sky Mavis for some set of deliveries. He has a tweet about it somewhere, but I mean, honestly, I think it's just to build hype to come up with all of the stuff that's getting released.
Yeah, no facts. I mean,
but yeah,
AxiCon was the time. Well, so we've known for a while then. I mean, okay, yeah, we coming to the end of the countdown. I'm oblivious as hell, bro. I'm but we here now. In terms of games, bro, do we really think, in my opinion, and this is, I'm gonna be candid because I always want to be candid in these spaces, and it is pretty colloquial. I don't really want it to be formal as hell. From my perspective, from what I've seen from Ronin so far, I don't know what type of games we're gonna be pushing out. We're championing Land, we championed Ray Lights in early December. Those are really not my kind of games, so I don't want to kind of, what can we expect? Do we think we're going to be ambitious enough to see some exciting things come from Ronin in terms of the games that are coming out? Maybe some team games, some social elements. I don't know. What would you guys want? I'm going to ask that to you guys right now. The listeners on there, you can request to come up, or one of our speakers that are here right now. What games do you actually want to see on Ronin?
I'm trying to shoot with the homies. You feel me? I need a shooter game, something this is on some personal stuff. I just bought a 240 hertz monitor.
Okay.
And all I have been doing is playing Axie.
Yeah, you're not utilizing that.
Right now, just here clicking cards on a 240 hertz monitor. I'm over here waiting.
Bro, no frames were dropped.
Utilize this.
No frames were dropped, sir. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm really hoping there's some sort of shooter. I'm really hoping there's team-based stuff, right? Because right now it's a lot of solo game stuff. Yes, there is guilds in Axie. I am part of a guild, MVP.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, right now it's all kind of still solo games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I definitely want to play with a team, play with a squad, play with my guild, play with the homies, and we're all in the game together, rather than us, let's say, backseating someone, like, you know, in ladder or in a tournament or anything like that.
Yeah, it's very solo dolo.
That's what I'm here for.
Very solo though. I feel like it's something that is it's kind of crazy that it's not here yet, being like seeing how sociable we are as a community and how like open and compassionate the community is, welcoming people in, and you know, we do interact with each other a lot, almost every day. Like, I'll talk to people in this space, so it's kind of strange that we haven't had that type of an experience yet. I would look forward to that. I think it would be so cool to be able to squad up with some Lunasians, bro, and go take over. But I see Captain's got his hand up, bro. You can come up here, and you got games in mind. What do you want to see, Cap?
I want to see a racing game for sure.
I can back you. I've seen some good videos right now, and you guys will know what we're talking about. In the Ronin social network Discord, there was a video shared. It was this racing game. It looked amazing. But carry on, man.
It looks really cool. Yeah. X showed it off. That's not a Web3 game, unfortunately.
No, it's not. Sad. Rest in peace. I did comment. Nice. I commented on a YouTube video saying this would be perfect on the Ronin network, leveraged in Web3. So get in touch, and I'll see what happens. Maybe it's a reach, but whatever.
No, the other thing I wanted to see was like a Rocket League type game, and there actually is.
Oh, I saw a read. Did you retweet that? I swear there's a tweet. I mean, someone can.
I think I retweeted it. Yeah.
Yeah, someone can add it to the tweets thread that's on the space.
Yeah, it's like a drone soccer game where so there's like multiple levels of goals, and it looks really cool. It looks really promising. It'd be cool to have that come to Ronin. And then, of course, one of my big bold predictions, and guys, I don't have any inside information here. I just saw some things on Twitter, and it blew my mind. Loopify, the guy who created Treeverse, may have spoiled us.
Yeah. But I wanted to touch on this actually. The Treeverse talk. Good? What do you think? You think it's
dude, I mean,
a myth?
Do you know what happened? This is like really cool, solid information that everybody could see. G-Host made a post saying like, what are you playing today? And it had the Mavis Hub up with like all 5 of the games, and then the Builders Program thing in the lower right corner. And then Loopify, who is the brains behind Treeverse, superimposed Treeverse over the Builders Program thing to show that it would be like the 6th game right there.
Yeah.
And then Jiho tweeted back saying it looks good with these like eyeballs, and man, that just got me going, bro.
It would be nice.
I think, yeah, it's a bold prediction. I think Treeverse is definitely going to be one of the announcements. So I'll shut up now.
Yeah, no, thanks. No, appreciate you, bro. But the Treeverse was on my mind. I can't lie. Seeing some of the gameplay and the video footage of it, was like I thought, I'll definitely give this a try out, and the aesthetics were clean as hell. But yeah, I don't know. We don't even know how many either, so it's like we don't have a ballpark to measure. We could genuinely see a single announcement. But another thing that if anybody has the tweet or could link the tweet and go ahead and put it in the thread to the actual space itself, Psychout responded to someone's message in the Ronin Discord for what the announcement would be. I can't remember the list, but it was like DPoS staking and like different categories or I don't know, summaries of what he would announce, and he made like a list of different things, and Psychout basically said all of it all at once. So I mean, we might be really sitting on some huge news. But I'm excited. All right, let's start to round up though. We are coming towards the end of it. We don't like to keep it too long here. I do appreciate everyone that's come through. If you are a listener and you're in the crowd right now, we are switching over to a QA style. Or if you would like to just even pose one of your thoughts, maybe something that you have been thinking of, now's the time. Request to come up. I'll bring you up as a speaker, but I'll leave this just open to either Cairo or Logic. You guys got anything you want to add or put out there to the space before we go ahead and close things up?
Just as we're waiting for anybody to raise a question, I think that, I mean, I agree with Logic, man. Imagine we actually got a polished shooter that was like the face of the chain. Like, I don't know, that would be crazy. It'd have to be really good, but it would be really nice to be able to squat up and play an FPS. If we didn't get that, I would hope for like you said, dude, we need some kind of multiplayer game, because right now there's way too much like social stuff going on between Discord, think about how many different Axie Discords are out there that like people talk about Axie in, and none of them are like, if they're playing a game together, they're playing a Web 2 game together, and there's definitely just opportunity there. So hopefully we see within the first ones some social games, but realistically I just hope we get them soon. And as the Caps point, I think everybody here really, really hopes for that Treeverse thing to happen, but I would say that is in the earliest stages of talking, if anything.
Like the hello, like we just said hello. Yeah.
Like maybe after. Loopify is known to be like a huge troll on Twitter, so I think that like I would not be surprised if they are talking now, but it would surprise me if they were talking before this point.
Yeah, like he might just be attracted to the fact that it got so much attention, and at first it was a bit of a meme.
Just think it. I think that Loopify has been one of the people in NFT and Web3 Twitter that has never really dogged on Axie and more recognized what it has done for the NFT space as a whole. He has always talked about how crazy the 2.7 million users was, and I think he knows I think he's seen like what Axie's potential is, and I think that like, being a new game that's going to come out and need a lot of users and attention and hype, you could basically like take over the whole like user base ecosystem if you have a really good game. If a really good game came to Ronin, everybody who plays Axie is going to go and try it. So gotta think.
For sure. We're championed in terms of community as well. So it's, I don't know. There's to me, if you put yourself in the shoes of a game dev right now, like for example, anybody in this call right now, you have a finished product. Your game is ready, right? You've had people play test it. They've said it's fun. It's actually a cool game, right? It's free to play, but you want to leverage some blockchain capabilities. There is not a better deal out there than to partner with a network that gives you all of that facilitation. Like, if you're a gaming studio, what other decisions do you have? Like, please, like, enlighten me, logic, anyone, like, what other opportunity, like, what are the other choices other than leveraging a network where it's already got experience, a customer base, and works? Like, you don't really have one, right? And that's the climate that we're in right now. Are we in a perfect time? Is this a transitional moment where game studios have products ready? How long does it take to turn over a game from idea to creation to launch and players can touch it? Like, these are factors that we still have to consider. Even upon announcements, it could be announcements of the game, but then like with development still has portions to make up for. So again, as much as everything is possible, there's moments where you can't really get above and beyond what's realistic and tangible, but I do think that we're in a very good space. I'd actually like to know after the announcement, so in the future, talking to future Gila right now, I'd love to know when those games are announced, or when that game is announced, or when that huge fucking list of games is announced, how long did these games take to make? And what's the process of that? I'd like to know the answers to that, because then it could give you a projection of, okay, what is it going to look like when we actually have a creator studio, like an environment of studios actively creating and upgrading games, because that's very exciting for a future of Ronin.
You kind of got to think that like whatever they announce is probably going to be a mixed bag of experiences. So if I had to guess, I'm going to guess that there's not going to be any Axie involvement in any of the titles. I'm going to guess that maybe some of the studios are Web3 native and have been building for the past couple of years in Web3 and know the technology. And then I would say the other people that they probably reached out to would have had to have been like games that were already in development for Web 2, but just didn't have like a marketing plan set up or a release structure or anything like that. So I think we'll probably get like some of both. I don't know. If they're gonna announce like if there's five games, imagine 5 games. I mean, and that's one less than what they said at AxiCon. But if there's 5 games over the next year that are just announced, those have to be like 5 vastly different experiences. So
yeah, we're at the point where you got to spread the pool as wide as possible first before going the depth. Yeah, it makes sense. Interesting, man. There should be a game like. So would you say, don't rug us right here, Cairo, please. But would you say by the end of the year we should have a wide enough pool that there will at least be one game for pretty much any type of gamer in the Ronin ecosystem?
It's gonna be hard to nail down some of these. I think that like. There's just different experiences that work better in Web3 right now. Like we're finally just now starting to see shooters pop up that aren't like complete.
Trash. Just say trash.
There we go.
Just say trash, bro.
Aren't complete trash. So it's like that one's a hard one for me, especially being from FPS. Like that one's gonna be really hard to nail down. But I think that it would be a good thing, I think, to like capture like the MMO style stuff with how social our. I mean, everybody thought that's what LAN was going to be, and who knows, it still might be. But like, I think that MMO experiences, I think that all those multiplayer experiences that opens up the pool of gamers a lot and gives a lot. I think that like the level of polish that comes from Sky Mavis products is enough to make people respect them. It's just you need to give them an experience that like they vibe with. And right now, Axie and like the card game or doll or whatever we have just might not be it for them yet. And so who knows, if we spread out, it really might work.
Yeah, facts. Well, we're gonna put the feelers out, but man, I'm feeling confident as ever as it is. I think this is a huge week for Ronin, and obviously we're coming towards the end of that Q1. We got what, like 11, 12 days before we come to the end of the month. We'll have another Radio Ronin next Sunday, so we'll keep you on top of everything that happens, anything that's littered around the place, any hints, anything like that, we might be able to lock in. But no, I appreciate everyone for coming through, man. Logic, shout out yourself, man. Thank you for coming through today. Any last words for the people then?
No, that's it. I mean, appreciate you having me on, and yeah, looking forward to what we can cook up and what's cooking up for Ronin.
Facts, man. Nah, love for having you here, bro. Appreciate it. Cairo, were you all good over there?
Yes, sir. Peace out, everyone. Thank you guys for coming, and make sure you guys come next Sunday. We should be putting out some tweets and branding stuff soon, so look out for that.
Facts. Yeah. It's gonna heat up. It's gonna heat up, bro. But nah, appreciate you lot for coming through. If anything, right? If someone offers you $1, tell them no. I want Ron. All right. And with that, we getting out of here, man. Love. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. Have a beautiful week. It's going to be up and stuck for Ron. Hopefully. But we'll see. We have, tell them, 12 days. 12. All right. Like the 12 days of Christmas. We got the 12 days of give me something. All right. But love, bro. Thank you guys for coming through. And I'll see you next week on the next episode of Radio Ronin, bro. Love. $1. Let's go.
Yeah. Peace.